So, something just came up. Apparently, I can't exactly make any videos that are longer than 15 minutes because I'm not verified. Don't ask why. So, I had to cut the video into possibly three different parts. So, yeah, I have to separate them all. Here we go. The next day, Lori thought that she was able to overcome her prices and her consequences. She went to confront her mother, saying that she would do the time for her family. But Rita had other plans. Rita didn't want her to go to prison because she thought that prison wasn't going to have enough chores or punishments compared to what she had. Lori was shocked at this comment. As she known from now, Rita was about to call Coach Niblick, the principal of Fairway University, to cancel her scholarship, and this tore Lori to the bone. Then she sold her car. Lori was literally living her nightmare, the one she was living just the other day. Around that afternoon, the next day later, Lori and the others were about to head to the church to celebrate Albert's life and grieve and mourn. As the father was about to open the casket, they came to find there was no body at all. Albert's body was missing. They were all looking around, all confused, but some were also shocked in fear. That was when a drop of blood dropped onto the father's shoulders. This gave him the attention to look up and saw a very morbid image. Albert's body was crucified on the cross that was on top of the church, with bird blood, feathers, and missing body parts that was on there. Everyone all trembled in fear and disgust. Some fainted from the horrifying event. But Rita turned directly to Lori, blaming it on her. As they went home, Rita still hesitated to take Lori to prison, and instead locked her in the garage. After a while, the sisters didn't impose, but Lincoln was thinking if it was going a little overboard. Rita told Lincoln that it was for their own good, and that he would understand when he was older. But at this case, Lincoln thought it was just some lousy advice. But it was, after Lincoln's sister, Lucy, the family goth, would help by reading fortune cards. They go into her room and they read the future by 3 tarot cards. So, the first card showed a skull that represents tragedy. Second card represents a crucified man, represents his sins. Then the next one, the last one, showed a coin that represents a change. Then she predicted it. A buried sin will rise to change the laws of what this world has lived under, what they believed in, and it will end in tragedy. From what Lori has experienced, she has witnessed change, and Eliza was trying to push it further without her knowing. Although Lori was confused, she was angry, but at herself. At least she didn't know if she was angry at herself. She then looked up to Eliza and thought, what is happening right now? Eliza had no response. The only thing she did respond as was a smile. Lori was confused, but at the same time, she was feeling like she was about to snap. At that moment, Lincoln was worried when the sin would happen, when the sin would appear. Lucy says that things like these would take time. Told him not to worry. Back in the garage, Lori was then conversing with Eliza, saying that she couldn't take it anymore. But Eliza agreed, and she agreed maliciously. And then she asked the confusing question, why do you think she did it to Pop Pop? Lori was definitely confused by what she meant, as Eliza made Lori do another subconscious thing, and one where Lori could remember nothing, one where her eyes widened and her heart stopped beating again. This stopped her brain from functioning properly, from remembering anything that was happening while she was out. Lori was the one that crucified Albert onto the cross. Then Eliza said she could do it again. But this time, Lori would be doing it on her own, onto her sisters, onto everybody who needs to witness the change. And by everybody, Eliza meant everybody. Lori then suddenly disagreed to that. As Lori was still sitting to the fact that she was still innocent, Eliza then went through one last plan to tamper with her temper. Eliza then went through all the hatred memories that Lori went through around her family. Like when Lincoln wrote that note about Lori being the worst sister, or when times with Lola would be wasted because of something that Lola would have done, or what her parents wouldn't agree on because of something stupid. Even if it was around Lily's situation. She then asked, how did it make Lori feel? Lori was puzzling all the pieces together. She was trying to keep her cool, but she just couldn't help the fact that Eliza may be right. Thoughts were rushing through her head. It was like her head was about to explode. That's when finally she snapped. She snapped like a Kit Kat. Afterwards, Lori's eyes widened. Her composure was silent until she led to a scoff. That scoff led to a giggle. That giggle led to a laugh. She laughed and laughed as the schizophrenic voices were playing inside her head all over again. Made her gripping her head so tight that her nails started digging into her head, making her bleed. Then she laughed and laughed, and then afterwards, she just laughed even more, but louder, unsettling, maniacal. The neighborhood could hear her. She then hacked the garage door open, and finally saw the truth as she was addressing herself under the horrid rain and the dark weather. She continued laughing until suddenly the laughing stopped after a lightning bolt hit her. At that day, she would have been dead. But 2 days later, she woke up in a cell in a garage, the same garage where she was locked in. But people were more concerned. The kids, the Louds, were more concerned about what was happening with Lori. Because after a while, her body started to change. First, it started to change mentally. And that was really pretty much something. First, she started experiencing more schizophrenic voices. And then more other side effects. It was sort of like it was an infection. At least that was what came from Lisa, the second youngest, and the family nerd. That's what Lisa studied so far. It was like if Lori was experiencing her own infection. Then that was when Lucy finally realized that her prediction may be coming in more earlier than she expected. Although the side effects among her included severe motion sickness, schizophrenia, mild sociopathic activity such as swearing, vandalizing. She vandalized the cell, writing the words, "Cheer up baby, don't you cry. Cheer up baby, it's cheer up time, laugh with me and we'll be happy." If you know the one episode where it's called The Crying Dame, where back when Lori was a baby, she used to have this creepy fox toy called Fenton. Those are the very lyrics that Rita and Lynn Sr. called the demon toy. She vandalized, she scraped the lyrics, and then afterwards she started scraping the lyrics of the very opening intro song of The Loud House. After a while she started doing unnecessary screaming, then she started experiencing black rashes on her fingers, on her right hand, and then major paresthesia. After the cycle completed after 3 months, Lori was ready to become the Loudson. She was no longer herself. She broke out of her cell and then appeared into her room. Lenny notices this when she walks inside her room. And Lenny was confused because Lori was supposed to be in the garage, but Lori notices that Lenny was wearing the clothes that she bought back at the mall. Lori got mad. Lori said it was heartbreaking, and then told Lenny that she will now know how it will feel. Like literally heartbreaking. She impales Lenny's chest using her bare hands and pulling out her heart. Literally heartbreaking. She then drops Lenny's body while she still holds the heart. This got every sister's attention. They all froze. And it was all silent until that silence was broken by Lucy, and when she told her all to run.